Hello everybody, Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor in Paradis, a guy's review. Happy Tuesday morning, September 7th, 2021. Hope everyone had a great Labor Day weekend, nice holiday. And boy, are we hitting the ground running today with some content. Last night's episode of Bachelor in Paradis, I'm dubbing the Great Unfollowing Monday's Massacre. We're going to talk about the unfollows that happened to Brendan and Piper's Instagram accounts after a wild episode. I'm going to get some notable alumni's comments, what they had to say about everything. Piper's response. She went into this being like, all's fair in love and war, and then this morning she's like, listen guys, it's reality TV, it's scripted, none of it's real, and all that. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to share some of these graphics from Bachelor data about the total unfollows that happened since the airing of last night's episode. And there's a lot of hemorrhaging happening on social media, and they always say all publicity is good publicity until you've got Instagram followers to lose. And the only reason people go on these shows in the first place is to gain a following, and they messed up big, and now they're losing a good portion of that following they took a long while to build. Or did they not? Maybe they didn't take a long while to build. They went on a dating show. This is what happens when the longer it takes to build something, the longer it takes to tear it down. And I guess they built this following up from Bachelor Nation, and then Bachelor Nation's like, no, we're done with you, and then they quickly can pull the cord on the unfollow there. So we'll get into that. Do me a favor, hit the like button and give me a subscribe. It helps with my content getting seen out there. So if you like daily videos, keep on subscribing, hit the alert button. We'll have live streams after the East Coast and West Coast episodes tonight. We've got the follow-up to last night's Monday Massacre, the Great Unfollowing, so we'll have to see how this all goes. Do me a favor, and yeah, please join me on Instagram at DNeals for all future updates and stand-up shows. Tomorrow night, Wednesday, Berkshire House in Hollywood. Friday and Sunday, I've got shows in Brooklyn, New York City, and then I'm back next week, Monday night, September 20th, where they show at the Hollywood Improv. So tons of content out there for you guys. So ride along and enjoy what we're doing here. So let's do this. Let's first cover Natasha's response. If you aren't familiar with this story, basically Brendan was kind of keeping Natasha as his girl until Piper showed up, and then immediately ditched Natasha for Piper, and they essentially admitted on air that they had already been dating, and their stories didn't add up. Natasha obviously did some cross-examination and realized he was grossly underrepresenting his actual relationship with Piper. So he's getting the most flack for this. Piper's getting some as well. So let's see what people had to say. Natasha said, and you know, because this is the first time you hear what you hear on the show, but this is the first time they're hearing back all of the mic'd up conversations that they weren't privy to. Natasha says, pick up where we left off. What am I watching? I'm being referred to as heavy lifting? Wow, rude AF. And then Demi says, honestly thinking Brendan went on the date with me because I have the most followers. Could have been. Demi says, my jaw has left the building. Justin Glaze says, I know they not talking followers right now. I know they not talking followers right now. They talking followers. Clay says, F-boy book chapter 7. Tell her she has selective hearing when you get caught up. Brendan Quinn, I'm glad I'm this Brendan and not that Brendan right now. Great Brendan reference. Tammy says, Piper, Brendan, do you want to go on this date right off the boat? Brendan says, this is not what we rehearsed, because he's like, listen, we had a line we were supposed to do. It all kind of fell apart when they went on the date, and Brendan and Piper's like, I thought you were really into me before we went on Paradise. And he's like, I was, dummy, I'm playing along. She's like, well, why don't you and he's like, this is part of the bit. Remember we rehearsed this about a month ago? So clearly they didn't have the proper alibis. Brett says, did Brendan and Piper really talk about their Instagram followers while mic'd, or is my edible just kicking in late? It could be both, Brett. It could be both. So let's keep this gravy train going there. Thanks to Justin Takes a Batch for compiling all those tweets. And then here's when we started to notice the unfollow brigade. It started getting posted like, oh, people are unfollowing, and that kind of gained popularity, and I think that caused more people to unfollow. The old snowball effect here. Brendan lost 6,000 followers in the 10 minutes since the story unfolded. Piper lost 1,000 in the same time period. Super quick Snapchat, but if it's indicative of things to come, then this could not be panning out worse for them. Skull face emoji. Reminder, it's a show. Be respectful. Follow or don't follow whomever you want. Yeah, my whole take on this is, look, you know, do whatever you want to do with your platform. If you want to post garbage on people's pages, post garbage on people's pages. I think a polite follow or unfollow sends enough of a message, but by all means, do with it what you may. Someone said, this is so wild to me. Are there really people who don't think everyone is there for Instagram followers? If being there for Instagram followers is bad, why would we reward these people with Instagram followers like everyone is doing for Natasha? Girl, they're unfollowing because of how snotty they are as humans, not because they talked about being there for clout. Someone says, I don't know. I thought it was pretty clear to me that Brendan wasn't into Natasha, given that he went on dates with other people and wasn't showing her real physical affection at all. It just seems like such an extreme reaction for everyone to be calling them snotty people when literally everyone is there at the beach to get more clout. So that's the dissenting opinion there, not the popular opinion. But hey, you got to respect that side of the story where people go, didn't Natasha know this was going on the whole time? Now, Natasha might have known that she was sort of kind of on his back burner and they were going to use each other for roses. But at the same time, she couldn't have known that he was talking about her in the way that he was, which I think is what really rubbed people the wrong way there. So let's go to the, here we have Bachelor data. This was 9 hours ago. This is their initial unfollow report, and then I'll give you the updates at the end of this video because it is fascinating how many unfollows have actually emerged. Instagram growth report. All right, let's, one more time. Sorry, I couldn't pick up on that. Here's Piper in the background discussing how much screen time they're going to get. And Bachelor Data is like, we're going to tabulate it. It might not be what you think it is.
She was like, you're literally going to get more screen time before you put that foot on. Remember when I hit 70? I was like, 70, whatever.
Hey, we're Bachelor Data, and we actually report on screen time and Instagram follower growth on The Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise. So naturally, we have some data to report. Brendan's growth so far on Bachelor in Paradise leading up to tonight's episode.
Up 20,000.
And here's what happened since the end of the episode.
Oops.
And even though Piper only made her appearance tonight, she's gained almost 10,000 followers this season so far. And she's trending down too. Here's the true winner tonight.
So that was, if you saw there, they had Natasha up. Let's see real quick. They have Natasha here up, 13,000 followers. I'm sorry, up 49,000 followers. Now, we're going to look at those numbers again today, and let me tell you something. She keeps on growing. This is like watching the stock market here perform. So we already got the Demi story. Here's Piper last night. I'm only going to play the audio for a brief second.
That's true, yeah. What you heard, that's true, yeah.
What you heard, that's true, yeah. So here's Piper saying, being like kind of sassy last night, doing her thing. Hey, look, it's a TikTok. I get it. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? So here is Piper this morning. Here's her statement. Just a gentle reminder that reality TV isn't real. An edited, produced, and cut down show isn't going to show you every single thing said and done. An edited and produced show can't show you conversations that happen before filming between friends. I make light of this show because it's a lighthearted show. I don't believe in pitting women against each other. I don't believe men are prizes to be won at the expense of someone's feelings. I believe in open communication to get answers, not name-calling on the internet. At the end of the day, it's a TV show. We, the viewers, are shown what makes the best television just as any show. And folk, what we have here is a very successful show. All right, so Piper, I don't want to speak for her, but it sounds like she's saying she spoke with friends before the show. Does that mean she spoke with Natasha? Did Natasha give her blessing that Natasha was going to look over Brendan? These are honest questions we have here. Now, you might consider that, but the way Natasha has responded to the disgust she feels from Brendan in hearing what he was saying is almost making you wonder that Natasha wasn't involved with this at all. Or maybe Natasha and Piper had some sort of gentle womanly agreement, and then it all went out the window when she saw how Brendan was treating her. We don't know for sure, but we can err on the side of having grace for Natasha because at the very least, you never want to see your name on national TV be spoken to about the way that Brendan did. So at least do that. But Piper not apologizing for being there. And I think we'll have a future video coming out. We're still compiling a lot of info. The Black Chillarettes were posting last night about colorism on the show, which we've talked about in the past with regards to different contestants and how they're edited and how they're treated by producers. So the idea that Piper comes in and is pitted against Natasha, is a storyline worth discussing. We'll talk about that in a future video. I think later today, we're going to try to get some more information there. So Piper didn't kind of get the fallout that Brendan did, but, you know, wondering, did she have a conversation? She says, an edited and produced show can't show you conversations that happened before filming between friends. Again, will Piper be able to tell us what those conversations were, or are they tied up in some sort of contracts where they're not going to talk anymore? We will have to see. So let's see what the comments were on Reddit from this post here. Coming on the show for clout is cringy and embarrassing, but whatever. Lying to Natasha, trying to make her feel small and unworthy and flustered, and then trying to blame her for selective hearing is the real issue here. Not sure what the edit could have shown us to erase all that. As far as the selective hearing goes, I don't have the sound clips pulled up, but it would be interesting if someone was able to find the initial sound clip and then say why Brendan felt like Natasha was selective hearing. Was it the same sound clip? Was something taken out of context? It would be important for the story to find that out. We'll see if we can do any digging. Yeah, I think Piper is missing the point as to why people are angry, or she's just trying to save her current follow number from not dropping again. Yeah, there's a good chance she doesn't understand that the words that Brendan had spoke were the ones that really cut through, more so than knowing. Like, we knew all along Brendan was kind of waiting, you know, for Piper to show up. We just didn't know the extent at which Natasha was involved. I'll be the first to admit, I had it, you know, with the information I received and from a lot of internet rumors out there, I had it on accord. I wouldn't call it good accord, but accord nonetheless, that Natasha was in on the ruse. I had it that Natasha was playing a part, in which case I said, give her a raise for her Oscar-winning acting, and if she's not involved, give her a raise for having to deal with all this, especially as a very close employee of Bachelor Nation, being a podcast host there. She deserves better than this. At the very least, we might get a running for Natasha to be the next Bachelorette. And as they're about to release info of who the next Bachelor might be, I say this: listen, if you can't quite find a Bachelor you really want, if it doesn't stand out to you, bring in Natasha for Bachelorette. Who cares? Let's do another season. I'm ready for it. And get her some great guys. So anyway, obviously, you know, it's not too often that you see Bachelor Nation coming in agreement so strongly. I would say about, and this is a rough estimate, 90 to 95% of the people I'm talking to see Brendan as the absolute villain here. And then you have like a 5 to 10% of people going, wait, something smells a little fishy. I don't know what's going on. And that, look, that's what you're going to get in society. People that, you know, question whatever, you know, story they're being fed. And we have to remember, it is a produced show. The Bachelor producers are feeding us a story. But with the fallout of like Natasha and the statements that she's made, it makes you wonder, like, oh yeah, it sounds like she wasn't in on this, and it sounds like she's pretty much a victim to this kind of like, this set of events that happened here. So the Queen, Rachel Lindsay, has spoken. Here's Rachel Lindsay saying Team Natasha, a photo, and then a couple comments here from people, because, you know, we know Rachel Lindsay's essentially quit commenting on The Bachelor. So she kind of comes out of retirement like your favorite wrestler. Just when you think, you know, the wrestling match is over, you got Hulk Hogan flies in and everyone's like, oh my gosh, she's back. You know, Rachel's the Undertaker in that sense. Rachel clocked Brendan's trash ways early and people went at her neck for it, only for her to be completely right. I'm actually glad she left this fandom behind her. I remember so many people said she was projecting her feelings for Peter Kay onto Brendan, and how Brendan has genuinely never watched his show ever, and he's just a low-key guy. Like, please, this franchise is not fresh out of its conception. These men know what they are signing up for. Stop coddling them. Someone said, say it with me. Rachel is always right. Yeah, Rachel is like Nostradamus here. She's she kind of like, over time, she proves to be, right about a lot of her intuition here. Natasha, here's Natasha Parker's post, and then I'll read for you the final unfollow counts from this morning. This is Natasha sharing Brett Vergara's tweet. What's Natasha's Venmo? I want to send her a glass of wine after this Brendan and Piper date. Absolutely. And then she has a post from her friend, no one, me, looking over to fight anyone and everyone for Natasha. So the ladies are coming out in full force. Here's Marissa.
He's a fraud!
He's a fraud. He's a effing fraud. Okay, and then she's got avocado pajamas on. Looking pretty good there, I gotta say. She wore some nice avocado pajamas. And then we have Rachel there, Team Natasha, and then Rachel posted this. which I won't play the audio, but it's essentially Rachel's dog barking in the background. And she's like, clearly we got to, you know, she's calling BS on Brendan, you know. So there they are. And I don't even know how long ago this, but Rachel Lindsay comes out of Bachelor retirement tonight. I don't know how long ago this interview took place. You can't tell with Brendan because all of his photos have the same like mock turtleneck. He looks like, you know, if Steve Jobs had a nice tan, it would be Brendan right there. Brendan, no morals, mores. Now, listen, we'll have to hear from Brendan. Hopefully he can talk on the matter and get some more context. And hopefully, you know, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But that's kind of what we do here is we try to hear all sides. Obviously, it doesn't look good for him. You know, I made 5 hours of live streams yesterday and someone commenting going, you mean to tell me that you think, and I was like, listen, we talked for 5 hours long trying to explore every avenue of this story. So don't conflate anything I say, you know, within a 5 hour long conversation as to my direct opinion. It's called playing the devil's advocate. You try to look at different sides and go, so wait, you're telling me Natasha wasn't involved in this anyway? Or maybe she signed up to sort of like help them out, but it got too real and then she realized what, you know, all the things Brendan was saying behind her back and it made the situation even worse. We don't know for sure. We just don't know for sure. But obviously, like I said, and I'll repeat over and over, Natasha deserves better than what happened last night. This is what she posted last night to end the evening. Cheers to the support and to anyone who felt triggered tonight. If you know me, then you know I trust God above all, and I do not wish hate for anyone. Zero hate is how I keep my vibration at a place of peace. Sending love to everyone who texted, DM, commented, or called me tonight. The virtual hugs were much needed and so appreciated. And then she reposted this story, which we shared yesterday, which was her initial statement, 81,000 likes. Sometimes dating is tough. And she posted this very poetic statement about how we question our self-worth. We get heartbroken. We cry about it. We blame ourselves. She ends up by saying integrity matters. Serena Pett says Natasha for Bachelorette. And boy, does she have a good support system there for her. All right, let's get into the final clip from this video here. This is, like I said before, Bachelor Data. Make sure you give them a follow. They are the premier source for statistical information on Bachelor Nation. Who knew we needed it so bad? Now that we have it, we can't live without it. Everyone's like, all right, well, let's just wait to see what Bachelor Data says, because Bachelor Data is our mommy when it comes to the math. And luckily, she's doing the calculations so we don't have to. Because Brendan's not the only thing calculated on this show, so is Bachelor Data. Episode 6, special Instagram growth update. We love a good breaking news story. This is a breaking news Instagram special growth update. Let's get into it. So Brendan's final, they say growth or lack thereof, is down 29,000 followers. So essentially, he went on Bachelor in Paradise to grow a following, and he grew 20,000. And then he lost 9,000 more than he grew. So far, it is a net negative for Brendan. And of course, this red line is just the last 2 days. So we have about a full month worth of data right here, and then the last 2 days. So the truth is, this red line should fall almost like a cliff. This is really more like a wave. Like it goes up, and then it falls straight down, and we'll have to see as it keeps on going. Do me a favor and follow Bachelor Data on Instagram, and you'll be up to date on all of the statistical information. Piper, 8.5 thousand before she got on the show, and then imagine going on the show and immediately losing 3,000 followers. That's like a small theater versus people being like, you know what? No, it's a no from me. Don't do it. I haven't seen this many people unfollow an Instagram account since my fiance posted me as her man crush Monday, and everyone was like, no, thank you. So Natasha, here's the real growth. In the last month of Bachelor in Paradise, 13,000 followers. In the last 12 plus hours, 72,000 followers. And this is 8 a.m. East Coast time. It's 9 a.m. West Coast time. So this was 4 hours ago. So we're looking at potentially Natasha gaining 100,000 followers before tonight's episode, which I believe, and we'll have to see with some data here, that this might be the biggest Instagram following in one day ever in Bachelor Nation. So the great unfollowing for some, the great following for others. Let me know what you guys think. Give me a great subscription here by joining my page. Like this video if you haven't already, and leave a comment. More stuff coming all day long regarding these stories. So definitely leave a comment below. I'll get to it. I'll get back to you, and we'll talk later. Bye, everybody.